What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy JB, and I'm coming to you today with the recap of Claws Season 2, Episode 1, titled Shook, which this episode had me completely fucking shook. So, without further ado, let's get into this recap. Alright, so, how I got into doing Claws and all this kind of stuff, I actually just finished binge watching Claws last Sunday. You know, last year when it came on, I wanted to watch it, but I didn't watch it because I'm like, I didn't want to sit here and watch a TV show that was about nail techs and all that kind of shit. But after watching it last week, I'm like, man, this shit is good, because I actually had one of my best friends who watched the show, and she really loves the show. She was like, you should get into the show. So now I'm into it and I'm loving this show. So basically, this season starts out where it kind of picks up where it left off last season, and that was with, you know, the Russian girl Riva taking over the Hustlers drug business and all that kind of stuff, basically because Rolo, stupid ass, got that little young ass girl pregnant. So like I said, the Russians are in control of everything, and Desna is actually back in her shop. She had to let go of the shop that she, you know, got last season, at the end of last season, because of the deal that she made with Riva, that, you know, if Riva let go of Jen and Bryce's little black daughter, that she would go back to dealing with the clinic and, you know, cleaning the dirty money in her nail shop. So that's where she is this season. So this season is completely different than what it was last season, because last season when it first opened up, you know, Desna was talking to Roller about Uncle Daddy and, you know, getting her cut for, you know, helping them with the clinic. And, you know, Uncle Daddy gave Roller the money, you know, the money, extra money, and the house that, you know, that Desna was hoping to get and all that kind of stuff. So this season, the roles are completely flipped and reversed. Instead of, you know, Desna working for the Hustlers, they are now working for Desna. Well, technically they are, but, you know, the Hustlers are doing what they want to do, and that's causing friction between Desna and Riva, because, you know, like I said, they're not doing anything. They haven't been to the clinic to get the money and all that kind of stuff, and take it to the banks and take it to Desna's shop and all that kind of stuff. So it's making business bad, because you got Dr. Ken crazy ass over there at the clinic burning up the fucking money. I'm like, whoa, bruh, why you over here burning up the money and all this kind of shit like that? I was really laughing at that nigga, like, you in here burning. And he talking about, you know, he didn't want the feds to come there and him have $130,000 in the office. I'm like, shit, I'd rather them find that money than you burning that fucking shit up. Like, you can't do nothing with burnt money, my nigga. Nothing at all. And then, you know, the ending of last season was, you know, Desna had her doctor boyfriend. And then this season, you also got Jen and Bryce. They still having their issues after last season of Jen fucking the rabbi and all this kind of stuff. Because you remember, if you remember last season when Riva kidnapped a little black child, which when that episode aired, well, when I watched the episode, I'm not going to say when it aired, when I watched that episode, I'm like, God, I knew they were going to kidnap the baby. But I thought they were going to kidnap the little white baby. I'm like, why y'all got to kidnap the little black girl? Like, what did she do to y'all? So, you know, and then when they were looking for Jen, Jen was actually over there fucking a rabbi. And then you had that little scene where Bryce went into the rabbi's place of business and tried to get, you know, confront him and all that shit. And I'm like, really? You finna sit here and try to fight a fucking rabbi? A rabbi? Like, that man is not gonna fight you. Like, that shit was funny to me. And then, you know, so you get Riva. She is wanting to meet with Desna. Basically, she wants Desna to start on top of Shishi's, the clinic, her nail shop. She wants her to get into the cocaine business. And I'm actually here with Desna. Like, bitch, I'm not about to get into no cocaine shit. Like, I got girls that have, you know, done time, and I don't want them to get back into going to prison and all that kind of stuff. Like, she's trying to protect the girls and all that kind of stuff. And I'm here for Desna. But then again, I have to think about it. Like, you got this Russian bitch, and that bitch is crazy. So I would have been like, you know what, girl, whatever you want, I'ma do. Because I ain't trying to have no issues with you whatsoever. So you say cocaine, how much you need? how many pounds you want, like how fast you want it out, like what you want, I got you, no problem, boo, because I ain't trying to fuck with you. Like if I ever run into a Russian, I'm like, whatever you want, it's all on you, boo. We don't have to have no, I don't need that smoke. That's some smoke you can keep. I don't want that smoke. But like for real, because that Russian bitch is crazy. And then her sister's fucking crazy, but I'll get into that just a little bit later. And then you also got Virginia. Virginia is pregnant by Dean. And you got Silent Ann, who was in her feelings because of her doctor, not her doctor girlfriend. She was with that police officer. And, you know, she got her fired because the police officer was getting too close to Desmond and all that kind of stuff. So now her police officer girlfriend has moved on, and that's got her in her feelings and all this kind of shit. Which I'm like, girl, you need to suck it up, because she was coming after you, girl. So it's either Desna or that bitch. I mean, pussy is pussy. You can get that anytime. Let that bitch go. Your friend is gonna be your friend for life. So fuck the pussy and protect your girl. So that's how I feel about that one. Now, the scene that really got me in this episode was the woman that was talking about whoever she was talking about with the deers and all this stuff, and then the bitch got the deer fingernails, and I died fucking laughing at that shit. I'm like, that was crazy. But you know, I commend people, like, y'all are talented as fuck when y'all do these different designs and all that kind of stuff. The deer. Now, the one that I saw last week on Instagram with the woman that got the dick on her nails, I'm like, who the fuck is gonna walk around with a dick and balls on their nails? Like, do you work? Because that's not professional whatsoever, a dick and balls. But I'm not even gonna get into that, because that's completely unprofessional whatsoever. Like, I wouldn't want to do business with nobody that got a dick and balls on their fingernails. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, people might have a different opinion, but that's just really how I feel about it. I thought it was tacky and tasteless. Alright, so Uncle Daddy, that motherfucker confuses the hell out of me. Is he straight? Is he gay? Is he bi? Like, what? Like, he confuses me. And then him and that nail on his finger, like, what is that? Like, I don't get it. Like, really and truly, I don't get it. But, you know, Uncle Daddy's wife got murdered last season by Reva. So, Uncle Daddy and that whatever, what is that? I mean, I know it's a man, right? That is a man, right? They just got titties, right? That Uncle Dad stays with Uncle Daddy. So they having a garage sale or a estate sale with his wife's stuff, and here he is arguing with this little boy about some of this shit. I'm like, really? What the fuck you arguing with this child for? I was really confused with that whole scene. With actually, Uncle Daddy himself confuses me. Like, I don't get Uncle Daddy. Why do they call him? Well, you know what? I know why they call him Uncle Daddy, because he's their uncle who took over them. You know, raising Bryce and Rolla after their daddy was murdered. So I get why they call him Uncle Daddy, but Uncle Daddy is Uncle confusing as fuck to me. And you know, Dean, he's a really smart character. For him to have what does he have? What is that? Not Tourette's. Damn. Not ADHD. Fuck. It's right there on the top of my brain. For Dean to be autistic. Autistic. That's what it is. For Dean to be autistic, Dean is very, very smart. You know, Virginia, she is over there at his Dean and Desna's house, and she's throwing up. So when she comes out the bathroom, Dean asks her, is she okay? And Virginia's whole thing was that, you know, she has a food bug. And then Dean was like, or you could be pregnant about 6 to 8 weeks. And she's just looking at him like, how the fuck you know that? And then he's talking about, well, you know, your nose has gotten bigger. And then he's talking about, you know, you have sore breasts and all that kind of stuff. And he's kind of put it together that Virginia's pregnant. And I was like, wow, he really is smart. And he's figured this shit out. So, you know, and then when it comes to Dean and Virginia, I don't really know how I feel about Dean and Virginia, because at one point I felt like Virginia was using Dean, you know, because when Desna told her to tell Dean that she was not his girlfriend, and when they went on that trip last season, and you know he was a model and he dropped his towel and she saw his dick, I'm like, oh, Virginia's just in this for the dick. And I'm like, how do you sleep with someone who has his who is autistic just for his dick? Like, I was confused with that thing. But now looking at it, I kind of think maybe Virginia does have some feelings for Dean. I'm not sure, but I know Desna gonna flip the fuck out when she finds out that Virginia is in fact pregnant by Dean, because she is. That is gonna be weird as fuck, because she's already taking care of Dean, and then for Dean to have a child, she's gonna have to take care of Dean's child and Virginia. Like, ooh, Virginia is in for it once Desna finds out. For real, she gonna be in for that shit. Alright, so when it comes down to it, I really want Desna to be happy. I'm happy that she ain't with Roller, old no good ass. But this doctor, I'm like, damn, I knew that when I first saw that dude last season, you know, I had high hopes for him because I'm like, he's not Roller. But I'm like, you know, most shows like this, when it comes down to it, the character, you want them to be happy, but 9 times out of 10 when they meet somebody new, they ain't they ain't all the person that they crack it up to be. And basically with this doctor, he ain't the person that, you know, Desna think he is or wants him to be. So I'm not here for that, and I know I'm gonna be sad when Desna finds out who the doctor really is and all that kind of shit, that he's a drug dealer and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna be really heartbroken for her when she finds that shit out. You know, so while they're at the shop, you know, you get Roller and his little young ass baby mama rolling up in there with that baby, and you know they having to switch everything up to, I guess, to suit the baby mama and to please Reva. So like I said, they come there, and she stays there until, I think, was it her mom? Did her mama come and get her, or did Reva come back and get her? Either way, somebody came back and got the little bitch. And you know, when she started to walk out the door, the bitch done sat there and left the whole fucking baby. I'm like, oh my god, bitch, how the fuck did you forget you got a whole human baby and you just walk out here and leave your baby? Like, what the fuck? How does that girl, is she like 14 or 15 years old? I mean she's a young girl. What, first of all, why the fuck was Roller sleeping with her in the first place? You can clearly tell that the little bitch is young, but I guess Roller don't care about nothing but a hole to stick his dick in. So that's it with Roller. Like, he's a fucking idiot. Like, really? You got yourself and your family into this whole shit because you couldn't take your dick out of one little young ass bitch, or at least use a motherfucking condom, and then you got the bitch pregnant. Again, like, Roller's a dumbass motherfucker. He a fuck boy. Like, what the hell? Roller is a fuck boy in every sense of the word, fuck boy. So we also find out that Polly and Dr. Ken are still together, and I'm trying to figure out, are they living in that hotel together with that girl that Polly took in last season when her mom was trying to sell her for some money? And so, you know, I guess we'll find out more about that situation as the time goes along. And then, you know, also, I don't know what Desna's boyfriend's name is, but he wants to meet Roller, and I'm like, what the fuck you want to meet her ex-boyfriend for? Like, why? First of all, you already met that motherfucker, so what you want to meet him for? But, you know, I guess I was actually kind of confused with why he wanted to meet him. That made no sense to me whatsoever. So, we get introduced to Reva's sister. The bitch is just as crazy as Reva is. Like, what the fuck? Like, are all the Russian bitches crazy? And her sister's thing is that she feels like Reva turned Olga against her, just like she turns everybody else against her. And, you know, the one thing that confused me with this whole episode, well, not with this whole episode, the one thing that confused the fuck out of me is the fact that Reva is using a nursing home as a front for her cocaine operation. I'm like, really? You using these old, decrepit ass old people to front your cocaine ring? I'm like, that is fucked up, and a low for even you. That's a real deep low for anybody to use old folks. Like, really? Old people? Like, can they move around that well? I mean, they got walkers and canes and shit. Like, how can they get around that much to do this stuff? So, you know, since the Hesslers are not doing what Reva wants them to do with the clinic and the money and all that kind of shit, Riva contacts Desna, but Desna's on a date with the doctor, so she didn't answer the phone. So Riva called Polly and got in contact with Polly. So Polly goes over to where Desna is and tells Desna that, hey, Riva wants to meet them. So they go to the nursing home, and Riva and her sister show up there. And, you know, Riva and her sister are arguing back and forth with each other. And I'm like, They arguing with each other. I'm like, oh, two crazy Russian bitches. What's going to happen? So Riva's sister pulls a gun out on Desna them. And I'm like, oh, shit, please don't shoot any one of them. But, you know, she didn't shoot any of them. The bitch just turns and boom, point blank, shoots her sister right in the fucking face and kills Riva. I'm like, oh my God, this bitch just shot her sister in the face. Like, I was like Polly, like I was in a state of shock that she just actually sat there and shot her sister in the fucking face. I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna go well. Like, you dead, bitch. So that's how, I mean, that was really shocking to me, just to see her shoot her sister in the face, point blank range. So I guess now that Riva is dead, the sister's taking over the cocaine business, the she's all that shit. I'm like, God damn, you get rid of one crazy Russian bitch to get up under another crazy Russian bitch. Like, you can't win for fucking losing with these crazy hoes. Like, damn, to shoot her right smack dead in the fucking face. What the fuck? So, you know, after she done shot Riva and all that kind of stuff, she goes to Desna's shop, and she's telling Desna about what she wants to do. She wants to get a male review together, so she sends Silent Ann and Virginia out to recruit for this review. And Polly, with one of her numerous alter egos, is a choreographer. So Polly's gonna choreograph the whole routine and all that kind of shit. Which I'm like, what? She goes from in a state of shock to a whole nother person. I'm like, girl, you are crazy as fuck, but I fucks with you, but you're crazy as the fuck. But Polly's my bitch, but again, crazy as fuck. Lunatic. So on top of doing the review, the Russian bitch also wants more clinics. So now so she gets everybody together to come to her house. And I'm like, what the fuck is that about to happen here? Actually, the Russian bitch and Desna went to Uncle Daddy's house and completely bombed that place and set it on fire and all that kind of shit. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, this bitch is crazy as the fuck. Like, what? You just go to this nigga house and bomb his shit and just set it on fire and he saw you? Like, what? But like I said, she gets them over to her house. So she gets them over to her house so she can have this underage wedding between Olga and Roller, basically to unite them all as a fucking family. And I'm like, what the fuck kind of shit is this? Like, this is nasty and disgusting and depraved to have Roller marry your teenage daughter because he got her pregnant. Wow. That's even lower than I thought you could go. And Rolo, dumbass, gonna sit there and try to take off running. I'm like, nigga, you ain't going nowhere. Get your ass back there, and you about to marry this little bitch. Like, you about to sit here and marry this little bitch. And they had the wedding, and you got Dr. Kim and Polly at the wedding fucking each other. I'm like, really? Y'all are fucking at this wedding. It's not a happy wedding. It's a forced wedding for an underage girl and Roller's old pedophilic ass. Like, what? How the hell y'all having sex here? That shit is nasty as fuck. But that was disgusting as fuck to me. Y'all fucking at this nasty ass wedding. Really. And also while they're at this wedding, the Russian girl comes up to Desna and she gives her the keys to Jen's house. First of all, I was confused as how did you get her keys to her house? Like, I thought Uncle Daddy gave Jen that house last season, which she did. So how did she get it? And then, you know, Desna's whole thing is she didn't want to take the house from Jen and all that kind of stuff. But basically, that Russian bitch is saying you ain't got no choice in the matter. You taking this house. And I would have been like, you know what, girl? You right. I'm going to take this house. Again, I don't want no smoke with you, I didn't want no smoke with your sister, and I sure the fuck don't want no smoke with you, because you shot that bitch point blank range in the face. So yeah, bitch, I will take this house. I will be happy with this house, and I will sit down, shut the fuck up, and you can call me fucking Sue for all you want. Like, I don't give a fuck. But that was the recap of Claws. I noticed it was kind of all over the place, and I will get better as time goes on. But leave your comments, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys later.